Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the afternoon edition of Creative Talent Productions, Patricia, New York. I'm just going to talk about a couple things. Um, Rainy, wet. It's it's bad weather out there. This is the trajectory of Erin. This is Hurricane Erin that's coming our way in our vicinity. But today, on today's edition, I'm going to start with civil penalties, penalties that municipalities charge, and that law should be banned across all 50 states because if someone is not if someone is not guilty of the charge, even if they are, for civil forfeiture to be applied, that's a way for the municipality to make money. All right, that's for the municipality because, as we all know and we have observed, municipalities do not do their due diligence when it comes to carefully critiquing every aspect of their budget. Like from the water billing, and then the only thing that they can't fudge around with is, well, they actually can if they fudge a little bit of numbers, is your tax and your levy and all that, ad libum. So, but civil forfeiture has to come to a complete end. It's like what they do in a lot of states do this, but I know Texas does it. I believe New York does it too. When after you've been incarcerated, you have to then pay restitutions to the state. You have to then pay restitutions to the state that received a generous monetary value from you as an inmate, and they've received generous monetary value for you as an inmate for each inmate, because the inmates, every inmate is a tax. Their prison ID along with their social, that's a benefit for corporations because they make money on inmates. Okay, they make money on inmates. There's a bunch of prison stocks. I don't have them listed in front of me. I will print them out and read them off on another episode. But that needs to end. That needs to end. And also, like I know Texas is one of the states where inmates have to pay back restitution. So you're actually paying a person's value incarcerated is more of an asset to corporations. This is why limited education is a priority for the masters. You understand that? Okay. Limited education is the priority because with limited education, limited knowledge, limited access to information, which is historical, consisting of rights and so forth, and laws that have been implemented, when people are ignorant, they don't know. They don't know any better. So therefore, it all goes into one. So a person paying back a restitution when they have, and one inmate alone, okay, one inmate alone, the head count, there's a monetary value that every state is given per inmate. Okay, it's written down. So now this also applies too with what's happening now with these ICE agents, right? Now what these people are doing, what they're rounding up brown people, black people. They are going after white people too, but the numeration of blacks and browns to white is not high. Okay, we all know that. The white people that are getting picked up, basically, they're kind of like, what as they would call a black person, a person of color, a token. Well, they're tokens to appease, so that people don't only speak about the brown and black people. That's what's happening. But they think we're stupid, right? But besides all that, we all know this, that they think that we're stupid. That needs to come to an end. That needs to come to an end. What's been going on with prisons, with inmates, this abduction and disappearing people for people that do not have any kind of warrant is illegal. is illegal. And all these people that have been disappeared have legal rights to sue the Trump administration. So for all the Trump administration people, you no longer have a soul. You no longer have a soul. And a big shout out to the Bronx cheer that came when that lady was up in she left the city of New York. She thought she was going to be safe and protected. She got the Bronx cheer. What's her name? The lady she has long hair, attractive lady. Ste- Stefanik, whatever, I believe that's her name. Anyway, well, there you go. You side with big corporations, and you forget the little people. Where you're going to get the Bronx cheer all over, and that goes for each and every one of you people. Boo them out, vote them out, get them out. They all got to go. They got to go. Clean house, clean house. And for the people who now have regained a sense of conscience and sense of humanity, the people who did vote for Trump, and you're opposed to what's going on. Well, you basically knew who he was. So you're actually, any type of repercussions that are going to happen to you on a karmic level, that's going to be your karma, because you all knew what this man was about, unless you lived inside of a bubble, which I doubt that anybody lived inside of a bubble, because he's filled with hatred, and he's worried that he's not going to go to heaven. No, you're not. You're never going to go. You're not going to go. You don't have a soul anymore. You don't have a soul anymore, Donald Trump. None of you have souls. All your souls have been now. They're down. They're down. They're down in the down below. They're sub below. They're even lower than where that bad guy goes. You got the good angel, then you got the bad. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, these people are not identifying who they are. They're taking people, they're disappearing them to these centers. Every person that is picked up, there's a head count. Okay? And all these clowns that are going to pick them up, you and all your families are going to be your families are going to perish as far as your soul and your morality. You are. You're going to. You're going to. Because you're doing something. What's going on now is the same thing that happened when Columbus came and he decimated the people. Okay? It's the same thing. It's the same thing that the Nazis did to the Jews. It's the same freaking thing. Okay? The disappearance. The thing is that they're not being unalived, but a lot of them have been unalived because of they can't take the stress and the trauma that you've brought to them, all out of greed, all out of racism. Yeah, so you can all make money. And now you see the economy tanking because people are not going out, people are not spending. There's more and more foreclosures and more bankruptcies and more Chapter 11, Chapter 13 is going on and all over. So good. And now you want to build more of these prisons? What about our failing, what about healthcare? What about healthcare, Donald Trump? All of you people in the White House, all of you people making all these decisions. What about doing for the people? You all have enough money. You have enough money that your generations are going to be set. So you don't need any more freaking money. Yep. Yeah, all of your souls. You're not going to heaven. You're not going to go to heaven. I don't even think you're going to survive your term. I honestly think I'm going to say this. I'm probably going to block it. I do believe that he is not going to survive. I do believe it's going to be something with his airways because he has sleep apnea. I know that. I could tell by the way he speaks. Like you could tell by his nasal tone. I have a hoarse voice from growing up in the city. They build incinerators near, in the inner urban city areas. So, a lot of people have bronchitis, asthma, ear infections, chronic sinus infections. And then you had September 11th, which happened later on. And that just was government. It's all a conspiracy, people. It's all a freaking conspiracy. Look at this. Look at what's happening. Yep. Putin played him. Putin made him look like the biggest clown walking. Putin, I told you Putin is not going to cooperate. I said that. Everybody said that to you, but you just, well, that's what happens when you become horizontal with world leaders and you think you're going to have the upper hand because you think you're Papi Chulo and, you were like, the big guy in town in New York. Remember one thing, the world is a very big place and we're little specks of sand. Okay, so who you were wheeling and dealing in New York with people on the world stage, it's if you had the training like the Russian, if you had that kind of mindset, that training to be that type of, then you'd be leading the show. But you don't. You thought you did, but you don't. So we're screwed, people. We're screwed. And this crap of rounding up migrants, I do hope that the judges really, again, I'll say, get your balls, okay? Pull up your skirts, get to the business of humanity, you useless sacks. Get to the business of freaking humanity and not stocks and investments, because that's exactly what's happening. Yep. Crazy. We live in a crazy world. I talk very deep stuff and they like to block what I have to say, but people do watch. They watch. Anyway, have a good day, everybody. Yeah. Yeah. He's not gonna survive. He's not gonna survive. I know it. I doubt he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. Yep. And each and every one of them that are doing all of this, they're all gonna be held liable. They're gonna all be held liable. Yep, because there's all kinds of underhanded deals going on right now. It's so funny. The people that are in his cabinet, I'm not going to say the names, but let's just put it this way. The wheeling and dealing that goes on, uh, it's a big circle. Like I said in another video, a wheel doesn't just rotate without the spokes. Have a good one, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay well, stay hydrated. If you're out there in this weather, drive carefully. People don't drive cautiously. People drive very recklessly. And there's a thing called hydroplaning where, the fumes from a vehicle or a truck ahead of you, it's going to get down into the asphalt or into the aggregate, whatever the road consists of, okay? And then it kind of like, and with the friction of the rubber to the road, you hydroplane. Yes, that's right. I know aerodynamics too. Oh my God. I learned about hydroplaning from my son because my son told me that I had to get these specific tires because when I used to work at night, when I worked 3 to 11, he was like, Ma, you gotta get home safe. That's when he was a nice young boy. Anyway, have a good one. Bye.